Hi everyone, and welcome to Kanikapila Mondays Ukulele Live Jam with me, Matt Stead. I hope you're all keeping well. I realised I forgot to do my usual hello and everything in the comments. I normally do that before I come on. I completely forgot tonight. So I hope you thought that I was going to be here and it's all good. So Barbara's kicked everything off anyway in the comments. So hello Steadies, how and where are you? Hi Leslie in rainy Rhode Island. It's gone very grey here. In fact, it's really starting to feel autumnal here. We had a kind of, with the summer lingering on a bit, I had really nice flowers in my garden for some time, and we still got like petunias and stuff, but everything's starting to feel really autumnal now. It's pitch black outside already at 6 o'clock, so yeah, feels quite autumnal. Hi Shona, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're keeping well up there. So yeah, tonight we're gonna do a Forrest Gump special. Uh, I always prepare these kind of Canicapilas ages in advance, and then get Barbara and Karen to help with the fascinating facts and things like that. So they're prepared quite a lot in advance. And this one was prepared probably almost a month ago when I was watching Forrest Gump with my wife. It's probably a film that I've probably watched most in my life, perhaps 17 times. And the soundtrack just really gets to me. As soon as that white feather appears and that da 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 da, that beautiful score comes on, it starts, kind of making me emotional already. Hi Shell, hope you're doing well. Rain's on the way. Maybe it's on its way from England to you. Hi, Tim. I hope you're doing well. I bet it's not raining there. Is it raining in Oahu? You never know. So we're listening to this soundtrack, and the original film score is absolutely beautiful, but the soundtrack is brilliant too. It's got songs from the different periods in Forrest Gump's life, so the 50s, 60s, 70s, going into the 80s, I guess. But the 1960s stuff is just brilliant, and it's so evocative of a time, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to do basically 3 songs from the Forrest Gump soundtrack, which should be good fun. And then we're going to do your People's Choice, where every week we give you guys the chance to choose a song from the Kanikapila archives that you'd like to do again and that you really enjoyed. And this week you guys chose, interestingly, a song that's been used in a film recently. Well, I say recently, it's probably 30 years ago now, but Oh Brother Where Art Thou? We're going to have a look at Man of Constant Sorrow, which is a fantastic one as well. Oh, no worries, you made it, Pam. You made it. Beautiful sunshine up in Perthshire. Let's go and join Laura up in Scotland. Come on, let's pack this in and we'll do it again from Scotland. That's the way to go. Tim, the wettest I've ever been in my life was on Oahu, funnily enough. It was, we went up the Manoa Valley to kind of go to the waterfall there, and it absolutely bucketed it down, like proper fat rain, In Forrest Gump, he says there are lots of different types of rain when he's in Vietnam. There's rain that comes up from the puddles, there's sideways rain, there's good old-fashioned down rain, and he calls one of them big old fat rain, and that's what it was like. We got absolutely soaked, but it was great fun. Anyway, a couple of things to tell you about. We've got another live lesson coming up in just over a week's time. We're going to have a look at the magic of the circle of fifths, and this will be really, really good for you Kanikapila guys, because it kind of explains how chord progressions work using this amazing tool called the circle of fifths, which we'll dig into in a lot of detail. Just thought I'd just bring it up now to show you. So definitely well worth tuning in if you can. And if you're interested in that, there's thanks Laura, run our way. And if you're interested in that, there's a really cool video that I did last week on can chords be thought of as colours and places, kind of like an extension of what they call synesthesia, where people can see music as colours. Happy Thanksgiving, Karen! It's Thanksgiving in Canada. How cool is that? Nice. No turkey in the house, according to Karen, though, this time. Is that right? Okay. So yeah, that's next week. One more announcement just before we get going. Just to let you know that we're down to the last few cabins. We get to a certain point in the year where Celebrity, they take any cabins back that haven't been sold. So if you're thinking about coming on the cruise, and you should totally come along if you can. Anthony, you can book your place after you've eaten your pizza. I'm only teasing. I hope you've got a yummy pizza. The rooms will go. So if you're on the fence and you can't decide whether to come, get in touch with Donna really soon, i.e. like in the next day or two. It's going to be an amazing trip. Hi Norman, good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, Robin's in Canada as well, of course. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Fantastic. I think next summer loads of us are going to meet up, aren't we, Leslie? We're going to have a good old catch up next summer. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, I'll crack on with the songs for tonight. We can always have a little break later on and chat about some of the things that's been happening. But let's have a look. You all know how it works by now. So the cool thing about how we do Kanikapila in the last few weeks and going forwards is we're still going to have the traditional way of doing things with these chord sheets, which is kind of important to the way I teach because it gets you thinking about chord combinations and it helps you to learn by ear. But because it's a bit of a hard on ramp onto that, you'll notice that now we've got the chords in the lyrics as well. So it just makes it easier. It's kind of like a two-pronged attack now. It's kind of like you learn the chord structure and how music works here, but to make it easier to play and sing, we've got the chords in with the lyrics here as well, which is, I find really helpful because it means I haven't got to look at my lyrics over there all the time. I can have them on the screen. So what we do is we think of our keys in music as 7 main chords. This one's in the key of G. G has 1 sharp in it, it's the F sharp, so it would be G, A, B, C, D, E, and then that F sharp. And each of those chords is either a major or a minor chord. So the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th chords are majors. Those are the most common chords in any key. In this key, that would be G, C, and D. And you can see them all over the sheet there, right? And then the 2nd and the 3rd are minors. That would be A minor and B minor. And the 6th as well, E minor. But you notice here, there's no minor chords in this song at all. Which is quite interesting because it has quite an aggressive sound to things. Thanks, Shona. Thank you. That was really good to hear. Thank you. So it has a really kind of aggressive sound to it, partly because of the lyrics and the content and everything. But there are no minor chords, which is really interesting. As I say, just kind of fascinating. There's a diminished chord which really adds the tension, which we'll see in the instrumental. So this one was written by Creedence Clearwater Revival in 1969, written by John Fogerty, this one. And it's obviously a very kind of aggressive anti-war song, so anti-Vietnam. And it's interesting because in a minute, we're going to do one from 1967, a couple of years before, which was the Summer of Love and, you know, a whole different vibe, which is really interesting how things can change, isn't it, in the world? And well, we all know that from now. Now, the structure in this one is really easy to remember. Just ignore the 2nd chord of each part for now. So we open with the 1 chord, that's a G. Ignore the next chord, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But notice the 3rd chord along is the 4 chord. And then at the end, we've got the 5 chord. And if you look, scan down, that happens every time. So in the chorus, we've got the 1 chord starting, then a different chord, then the 4 chord, then the 5 chord. So the verses and the chorus are basically the same, apart from that 2nd measure. And even the instrumental, we've got a G7 rather than a G at the start, but notice we've got that C and G at the end. This is often called that Amen cadence. Amen. That ends lots of kind of progressions and songs. And it's kind of in place. It's not quite as tense as the 5 chord going to the 1 chord. It's a bit more gentle, but it's used in a lot of songs, that 4-to-1 cadence at the end. We've also got something called the 4 of the 4, and this is something that I've started noting on all the Kanikapila sheets. Sometimes composers will take a chord, that isn't naturally in the key. So remember at the start I said G has an F sharp in it. There's no just F natural in the key of G. But what happens is John Fogerty has stolen that chord from another key. And the reason that it works is it's 4 above the chord that follows it. We call it 4 of the 4. And it makes sense. The C chord is the 4 in the key we're in, right? And we can just do that by going G, A, B, C. And then F is 4 above C. C, D, E, F. So we call it the 4 of the 4. And you'll notice, particularly in rock music and indie music especially, this chord comes up a lot, slightly more aggressive sounding than the 4 chord, and it works beautifully because our ears love music moving in thirds. We call that tertium movement, and fourths and fifths. Our ears just love it. And next week when we do our lesson on it, you'll notice that when we go backwards around the circle of fifths, it's fourths. Our ears just love it. We've become attuned to it over years and years. Okay, so let's have a look at playing one of those verses then. Now for the strum pattern for this one, you know I like to think about things phonetically. We're going to do a walk, running, 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 walk, running, running, running. If you're into your downs and ups, that's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Quite energetic, this song. We're going to play it quite a tempo. Walk, running, 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 walk, running, 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 down, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you struggle with that, just play 4 on every chord. That will be fine. Or you can even just hit each chord and let it ring for a measure. That'll be fine as well. And we do each of these chords for 4 beats or 1 measure. So that has given us G for a measure, then F, C, back to G. 1, 4 of the 4, and G. Easy peasy lemon squeezy that, right? Then in the chorus, it's basically exactly the same thing, only instead of the F chord, we've got the more traditional 5 chord, which is G. So then we have home, tension, movement, and back home. Okay. That'll sound like this. And that's your classic chorus. It ain't me, it ain't me, I ain't no millionaire son, no. It ain't me, it ain't me, I ain't no fortunate one, no, no. Alright, so relatively straightforward, really, really simple. The verses, let me just bring up some lyrics so you can see how it sounds. The verses are nice and simple as well. Hi Indrani, hope you're feeling better soon. Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Who they're red, white and blue. And when the band plays Hail to the Chief, ooh, they point the cannon at you, Lord. Really, really simple, this one. So maybe see if you can do this one from memory. All you've got to remember is that the second chord in the verses is F. Second chord in the chorus is D. Then we go to this instrumental. I'll show you what scale to use if you want to do a bit of soloing on this one. But the chords are really lovely. We've got this G7 chord. It's the 1 chord but played as a 7th to give it a feel of movement. And the nice thing is that 2 of the fingers come back to create the diminished chord, which is next. Then we have the 4 chords, see? Just like in every other verse. So G7, just pull it back, look. Your finger will drop off. Isn't that lovely? Diminished chords are all about creating a sense of tension, but also movement as well. And that really happens a lot. It sounds quite gritty, this instrumental. If you ever get a diminished chord, there are only 3 diminished chords shapes in the whole world. There's this one. There's the same thing moved up, but we fill in the gaps behind it, like this. And there's this one. So this one. And they repeat every 3 measures. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The reason I wanted to show you this was it's just useful when you're learning music. If you ever see a diminished chord come up in a piece of music and you can't remember which of the 3 it is, I mean, you could experiment and see which one sounds right, but only one of them will contain the note that the chord's named after. And this is a G diminished, and it's called a G diminished, amongst other things, because it has this G note, this open G. The next diminished chord doesn't have a G in it. It's got A, E flat, G flat, and C, and same with the next one. So if you ever want to find which chord it is, just think it's whichever one contains the note that it's named after. Thanks, Indrani. Yeah, it's cool. It matches my my Doc Martens this, so sometimes I play it at concerts because I'm sad like that. Okay, so that's the instrumental. Now, you don't have to, but regular Kanikapilarists, if that's a word, often like to do a little bit of a solo on the instrumental. And generally, when a song is in a key, such as the key of G, we would use a pentatonic. Sometimes people might think that's being lazy because it's the same 5 notes each time. But this is what rock musicians have done for years. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So we know it works, right? This is what the G major scale would look like. And then later on, this here, this is all in your scales reference sheets, by the way. You can download these completely for free. Massive thanks to Karen, who did all the work putting these together with the all the notes and everything and the diagrams. They look great, don't they? So we could use the G major pentatonic or the E minor pentatonic. But actually, this song has a real gritty blues sound to it. So we're going to go to the blues scales and we're going to use the G blues scale. Okay, so this one, it looks like a minor pentatonic scale with an extra note. We take this finger way up here to the 7th fret on C string. That's it. You'll get a My Girl later, I'm sure, Indrani, don't worry. And then little finger up here on the 12th fret. Okay. Then we're going to go to 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then we've got 8 and 10 down here. I'll do that again because I don't think I was counting properly. 7 to 10. 8, 9, 10. Hear that lovely blues note? That one there. And then 8, 10. So it looks like a pentatonic scale. We've just filled in that note there. Okay, it's quite high up the fretboard. That's why I keep hitting the wrong string and stuff because I'm not concentrating hard enough. You can also combine that with the notes lower down if you want to. That's the 3rd fret on the E string. Going right up, I use my little finger here to the 6th fret. And then 3, 4, 5 on the A string for the C sharp D. Okay, and that has a real gritty sound. If I play a backing track, just briefly, I'll just play a kind of a brief backing track. And if you haven't done, you can get your scale reference chart out whilst I'm doing that. I'll play the G major pentatonic and then I'll play this blues scale and you'll see how the blues scale has so much more grittiness to it. So this is noodling around with the pentatonic. Oh, hang on, sorry. I need to turn this up and I need to turn that up. And I need to get this ready. Here we go, sorry guys. Put me on close cam, that's what I was thinking. Right, okay, here we go. So this is the pentatonic. Okay, which is okay, right? But then if I do the grittiness of the blues scale, have a listen to it now. got a grittier sound. So that's why we use the blues sometimes in this kind of rock and roll format. And if you think about it, we had the blues, then we had R&B, rhythm and blues, and then that became R&R, rock and roll. But it all goes back to the same thing. So if you want to, you can have a little noodle with that when we do the solo section. It's a very short solo section. Look, it just comes, this little instrumental just comes after the second chorus. So it's not a lot to do there, but you can have a little noodle if you want. Cool, right? Thanks, Barbara. Thank you. Okay, let's give it a try then, guys. Let's play this one, our first song. Enjoy. I'm just going to quickly tune up because I think one of my strings might have been slightly out there. Let me just check it. Yeah, it was my C string. Sorry, guys. Yep, we're all good. Okay, let's give it a try then. Remember, walk, running, running, running on every measure. And we've got a little intro at the start. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, G. F, C, and G. Let's do that one more time, the intro. Some folks are born made to wave the flag, who they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays Hail to the Chief, ooh, they point the cannon at you, Lord. It ain't me, I ain't no senator's son, no. It ain't me, I ain't no fortunate one, no, no. Some folks are born silver spoon in hand, Lord, they don't help themselves. But when the taxman comes to the door, Lord, the house looking like a rummage sale, yeah. It ain't me, I ain't no millionaire's son, no. It ain't me, I ain't no fortunate one, no. Try the instrumental. Aren't those chords great? Get ready to come back in. Some folks inherit star-spangled eyes, who they send you down to war, Lord. And when you ask them how much should we give, who they only answer more, more, more. It ain't me, I ain't no military son, Lord. It ain't me, I'm no unfortunate one, no, no. It ain't me, I ain't no fortunate one, no. It ain't me, I ain't no fortunate one, no. There we go. So that one's playing in the film, isn't it? Before he just goes off to actually, I think it's just as it cuts to that scene in Vietnam, and it's shot brilliantly considering by modern standards it's quite an old film. I still think of it as recent, right? But I guess by modern standards it's quite an old film. But the effects of all those helicopters going past when this song blurts out really loud, it's really amazing. It really gets the adrenaline going. Just absolutely fantastic. And that's where they introduce the character Lieutenant Dan, who eventually goes on to become a shrimp boat captain with Forrest Gump after the war, right? Just absolutely brilliant. That I gotta find Baba, that gets me every time in that film. That's the first time I start crying in Forrest Gump. So let's move on to something completely different. Let me know how you got on with that, guys. Yeah, Barbara. Barbara did the Fascinating Facts this week to help out. And it's really interesting because I noticed that in the Fascinating Facts, if I go to the back, it mentions... there it is. John Fogerty pulls no punches in this 2-minute 18-second anti-war, anti-class anthem. That's mad, isn't it? 2 minutes 18 seconds, and it's just like bam, proper pop song, proper rock song. absolutely brilliant. And it's a great one. You've got to love a bit of Creedence, haven't you? Fantastic. And that diminished chord in the solo part, it just really lifts the song somewhere different, doesn't it? Which is really, really nice. So, yeah. Yeah, that's always good as well, Indrani. Yeah, same here when they'd have him meet like the president and stuff, and they had the famous scene, didn't they, with the senator trying to stop um, the black pupil from entering the school. I forget the school now. Obviously, it's really famous, but yeah, it's really clever how they inserted him in. It's brilliant. A good one to memorise, says Joe. Absolutely, yeah. Just got to remember that second chord, haven't you? But otherwise, it's really, really simple, which is great. So here's something completely different. Like I say, this was recorded by Scott McKenzie about 2 years earlier. And it gets a bit of flack, this one, for being a bit kind of pop light, I guess. But actually, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and it always makes me think of. I know it wasn't them, but it always makes me think of the Mama and Papas. Maybe because of they did the whole California Dreaming, and this is San Francisco, so California and stuff. Yeah, it's a cool little change, that, isn't it, Pam? So yeah, it's kind of interesting, really, really different. And obviously this was a more peaceful time, and we had the Summer of Love. And Leslie says she wore flowers in her hair at the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco as a 16-year-old. My parents actually took me there on vacation. That is so cool. George Harrison visited there, didn't he, in the Summer of Love at one point? I think they had a break from recording. I think if I remember, it's like the break that they took between, I think it might have been Rubber Soul and Revolver, and it's the first break they'd had. And George Harrison went over and kind of got involved in all that stuff, which is interesting. Love it, absolutely brilliant. Leslie, when she visited me, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Leslie, was telling me the story about how she once danced in the backing band for the Beach Boys when they're recording a video. It's like, amazing, right? Wow, that's so cool, Leslie. I love it. You should write a book, Leslie. Seriously, you should do a book on this stuff. I'd read it. I'd buy it as well. So, yeah, amazing. Okay, so let's have a look then. This one's kind of interesting because if you look at the first chord of every line in the verse, it's an E minor. And you could think of this song as being in the key of E minor. Now, every major key has a relative minor, which has all of the same notes and all of the same chords in a different order. So that last song was in the key of G, and we can just think G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. Well, the key of E minor, natural E minor, has all the same notes, but just starts from E. So we have E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, and D. So exactly the same notes. So you can often think of a song as being in the relative minor or the major. The reason I kind of think of this as the major is because it makes it easier to think about the chords and how they fit together. But also it has quite a lightness to it. It doesn't have a dark kind of minor sound. So I'm thinking of this in the key of G, but you could think of it in the key of E minor. All right, so and also it starts on a G as well, which is a kind of a bit of a giveaway in the intro that we're kind of leaning towards the major rather than the minor. All right, so this one we're going to do really nice and laid back. I'm going to show you a picking pattern on this one, but let's just do a gentle calypso strum just to get us going. That calypso strum is just a very, very simple down, down, up, down, up. It always throws people though because it has 2 ups in a row. Let me show you. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Okay. Notice that after the first the up in the middle, sometimes I do a little mini windmill, which reminds me not to play another down. Takes me into up, down, up. down, down, up, down, up. You can also think of it as walk, running, and running, walk, running, and running, walk, running, and running. There we go. Tim's brought up something interesting. Sorry, just to digress for a minute. Tim said John Phillips wrote and produced the song. John Phillips from Mamas and Papas. As a promo for Monterey Pop Festival, which he put on with Lou Adler. That's really interesting. That makes that makes total sense then, doesn't it? Why it has that Mama and Papa vibe. So yeah, love it. Didn't Lou Adler go on to manage the Beach Boys at one point? Or they worked with him, didn't they? I know Monterey was the festival that the Beach Boys turned down, and they kind of regretted it for years after, because they would have been seen as quite hip to go and play this thing, but they kind of, they turned it down, and so some members of the band really regretted that. I'd have loved to have been at Monterey Pop Festival. Oh, one day. Well, what am I talking about? One day. Only if I invent a time machine. Anyway, sorry guys, I digress. So let's have a look at the construction of the song. So verses, we start on the E minor, which is quite a melancholic chord, the 6th chord in the key of G. It should say 6. I've got a feeling it says 7 there by mistake. That's my bad. I did the tables, so that's my bad. Then it goes to the 4 chord for a sense of movement, to the 1 chord briefly, and then it goes to the 5 chord at the ends. And remember that 5 chord, whenever it comes up in a song, is all about tension. It makes you want to go back to the start, which is why it works so well. It kind of comes at the end of so many lines in pop music as well. Oh, amazing. Big Sur as well. Leslie, you're going to have to take me on a tour one time. I've always wanted to go to Big Sur. I used to be an obsessive Jack Kerouac fan in terms of his literature, and he's got a book called Big Sur. It's quite a depressing book, but I've always wanted to go there. I know, of course, there's a festival as well. Anyway, sorry guys. So we've got E minor, C, G. Here's the tension of that 5 chord, the D. Makes you want to go round again, right? E minor, C. Really keep it nice and light, this one. Now the 3rd line, we start the same with another E minor, but then we go instantly to the G, the 1 chord, which gives the song a change in momentum, which is really lovely. Then we end up with the minor chords and the 3 chord in any key. That B minor, that one, the B minor, it has a sadness to it. And that's interesting, because I think this part of the song does have a kind of, even though it's not a sadness, there's that gentle people with flowers in their hair. It's got like a melancholy to it, which works really well. And whenever you get that 3 chord, it tends to be in an area of melancholy in the song. Then another E minor. And I've got the tension of the 5 chord being played for 2 measures. See that empty box at the bottom? That just means we play 2 measures of D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Okay. Now, a lot of people really struggle with that B minor. A couple of tips. First of all, try and get this index finger as close to the right hand metal fret as possible. That's the area of lowest tension in the fret. If I put my finger back here, notice I'll probably get buzzing. And it doesn't ring out true. Just move it towards the fret, and you'll be able to get cleaner chords. And then here, reach up and over with your ring finger. Try and keep a nice, kind of some nice air underneath. Don't flatten down, try and keep it up like that. And notice I'm always banging on about this, but it's really important. Notice I've got this straight arm. If you start crooking your wrist when you're playing, it can be really bad and it can really lead to inflammation. So we want a nice straight arm. 45-degree angle just helps everything fit together, which is really nice. You can also, if you want to, just bar the bottom 3 of the 2nd fret for the B minor. which if you hit the G as well, creates a G major 7. But if you just strum the bottom 3, that'll be fine. So you could go like that, which is lovely. Okay, all right. It's funny, Tim. I often think of it, Lou Adler was one of those names that used to come up all the time when I was reading like record sleeves and stuff, and I didn't really know who he was or what he did. But yeah, that makes sense. Tapestry, as you guys know, is one of my favourite albums. Massive Carole King fan. And yeah, this is the first big hit with the 6-4-1-5 progression. I didn't realise that. Isn't it lovely? That kind of it does have a hippie vibe to it, doesn't it? 6-4-1-5. So of course that means the 6th chord in the key of G, G, A, B, C, D, E. So that's our minor. 4 creating a sense of movement. 1 with that feeling of going back to the start, and then tension of 5 at the end. It's quite a popular chord progression, but I didn't realise this was the first popular one. Thanks, Tim. That's really interesting, actually. Let's just try one verse then. I'll come in really close so you can copy my chords, just so you can see how it works. Come in after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you're going to San Francisco, you're gonna meet some gentle people there. And we have another. And then we go around and do that again for another verse, right? Really gentle, really lovely, really sweet. Wikipedia says so anyway, Tim. That's all right. Wikipedia is pretty accurate nowadays. It's well checked. So when we get to that bridge, notice our old friend, the 4 of the 4. Again, I'm really trying to point out these 4 of the 4s recently because they come up in so much music. So this one, the 4 chord in the key of G is C, G, A, B, C, and F, C, D, E, F is 4 above C. So again, it's coming up, and notice it does create a grittier sound, which is really interesting because when it goes to this bridge, it does have more of an impact. All across the nation, such strange vibration. And then the relief of going to the 1 chord. People in motion. So it works with that tension, strange vibration, right? There's a whole generation with a new explanation. People in motion. And then the 5 chord makes you want to turn around and go back to the start. People in motion, da, 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 and so on and so forth, right? So it works really well, really, really beautiful. Now, there's something that I hadn't written on the sheets, which is my bad. It's not an error, but it's just something I decided on doing tonight. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a quick sip. I've gone all Beatlesy again. Let me see if I can turn it round. Yellow Submarine had to be right. Okay, right. So what I want us to do is when we get to after the bridge, when the bridge finishes, notice that the verse 2, if you like, notice that the first chords are E minor, G, C, and G. Well, that's the same as the second verse up here, isn't it? The second part of the verse, if you like, the lines 3 and 4 up here. Okay, does that make sense? So we've got, it's the bit where it changes slightly. It has a slightly different feel. So what I want to do is after we finish the bridge, I just want us to play the first line from the verse, this one, instrumentally. You can have a go at a little solo if you want. And then we'll just carry on with verse 2 to the finish. Notice it finishes on a G rather than a D this time, because we don't need that tension, do we? It's coming to an end, right? Which again is another hint we're in the key of G rather than E minor. So basically, long story short, when we finish this bridge, just play these 2 lines once. You don't have to sing, we're going to do them instrumental, and then just drop here for the end. Okay, that's all it is. That's all we're going to do. All right. So let's have a look at, if you did want to do a little solo. There's not much time to do a solo, but if you wanted to, this one doesn't have that grittiness of the first song, so we do want to use our good old traditional G pentatonic, which, if you've got your reference sheets, is on page 20. So this is our My Girl one for Indrani. We're going to start with a G note way up here on the 7th fret of the C string. Then we're going to go up to 9. Then we're going to do 7-10 and 7-10 again. Okay, so that's this shape here for the G. Notice we've got G A, B D, and E G. The reason we use those pentatonics is it takes out a couple of the notes that clash with some of the chords in the key. And you can pair that up if you want with the E minor pentatonic, all the same notes in a different order. This is, for Indrani. Get better soon, Indrani. Okay. And down here in E minor, we've got 4-7, 5-7, 5-7. Okay, and you can use either of those is fine to do a little bit of soloing. Now I wanted to show you just something ever so quickly on this, which is a trick that we've used before, but we've not done it in a while. If you're thinking of wanting to do a bit of a solo, but you're not sure how to phrase it, because if you just play those notes up and down, they sound boring, right? If I just go, just sounds like a scale rather than a solo. So how do we think about when to play the notes and the phrasing? I remember the trick, I might have shown you this before, where you can have the lyrics in your head and you can match the rhythm of the lyrics, not the melody, the actual notes, just the rhythm. So I could even play through that scale, but if I match rhythm to the words, if you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. So I'm not matching the pitch, the notes, but just the rhythm. And it sounds really, really effective. Have a listen. This is just pretty much going up through the scale and wiggling around. So that was just literally, that was a kind of a medley of any notes. But notice that I was matching that rhythm. If you're going to San Francisco. So if you're feeling confident and you want to have a little go at soloing on this one, when we get to that little instrumental bit that we're going to insert, try that rhythm. It works really, really well. It works really, really well. Okay, let's give it a go then, guys. Let's put some flowers in our hair and we'll head off to San Francisco. We were going up to Scotland to visit Laura, but now we're going over to San Francisco instead. It's sunny in both places, right? Oh no, it's not actually. Somebody said it was raining, didn't they, in California? Okay, right, here we go then. I'll stay here actually. I'll just mute my seat so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry, guys. All right. Remember, just 2 G chords to get us going. In fact, actually, let's make it easier just in case anyone's following on screen rather than on the sheets. There we go. Oh, picking pattern. Thanks, Leslie. You rescued me. I almost completely forgot. Easy peasy lemon squeezy picking pattern that you can do if you want to on this one. All we're going to do is pick Pima style. That just means thumb, index, middle and ring. Okay, we're just going to pick from the G string down to the A string. So it's literally just G string, C string, E string, A string, like this. But we're going to do it twice per measure. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Top to bottom, top to bottom. If you're going to San Francisco, doesn't that sound lovely? Be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. Okay, so you can have a little go at picking with this one, which will sound really, really fantastic. Thanks, Leslie. I almost missed that. So give that a try. Otherwise, you can strum it. I'm just going to strum this one just to keep it nice and simple. I tend to put a little bit of a rolled strum on the second beat. That just means when I come down on beat 2, 1, 2, that one there, all I do is nothing fancy. I just drag all of my nails over the strings as opposed to just my first finger. Have a listen. So down, roll up. Okay, just in case you want to add a little bit more sophistication in. Let's give it a go then, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, G. Here we go. If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you're going to San Francisco, you're going to meet some gentle people there. For those who come to San Francisco, summertime will be a loving there. In the streets of San Francisco, gentle people with flowers in their hair. Here comes the bridge, get your F ready. All across the nation, such a strange vibration. People in motion, stay on that shape. Have an F. There's a whole generation with a new explanation. People in motion. People in motion. Take a solo if you like, or just strum the start of the verse. Let's do one more of those. Verse 2. For those who come to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you come to San Francisco, summertime will be a loving there. Isn't that a beautiful song? I think I say that every song. You know me. I love music, but I think that's gorgeous. The way the chords just roll around and the way it's produced, the beautiful vocals on the original, just amazing. The original did have a key change at the end where it goes briefly to the key of A. So we've got A and then F sharp. But I didn't want to put a key change in here. I thought it would take too much of the evening, kind of talking it through and some awkward chords there as well. So you can put the key change in if you want. It's just like the last bit of the verse, the verse, but played in A rather than G. It's lovely, isn't it? It's such a nice one to play on ukulele as well. I think sometimes some songs just fall beautifully on the uke. They just seem to work. Things like Something by the Beatles. Trying to think of other examples. It just works so beautifully, and that is one that just works really gorgeously. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, you know, Brother Is, that kind of thing as well. Just because we're halfway, I'm just going to break just briefly, just to remind you guys that we've got another live lesson coming up, not this week, but next week, where we're going to look at circle of fifths. So it'll really help you memorize some of these chord progressions, and we'll go into it in a lot of detail. The worksheets feature the circle of fifths and lots of songs that go with it as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And don't forget, if you want to come and join me, not in California, but on the other coast, from sailing out Fort Lauderdale, get in touch with Donna soon. Those places won't be available in a few days. So do get in touch as soon as you can if you'd like to come along with us. And I would absolutely love it if you can, because it's going to be the holiday of the lifetime. And we're all going to hang out and play loads of music on a beautiful boat in a beautiful sea. So it's going to be good, right? There's also a couple of new videos up. There's one on YouTube that I did on synesthesia and how we can think of chords as places and colours, which has created like some really interesting kind of debates. Had some really fantastic comments off people. Not debate as in antagonistic. I just mean some people hear different colours and some people hear songs in different ways and visualize them, which I think is really interesting. So I might do more in that series at one point. Karen, if she's still there, Karen has challenged me to do it for the urban environment. So thinking about what would represent the one chord in an urban environment. So I've been thinking already how to do that. So I might do that as a challenge soon as well. That's a great idea, Karen. Barbara, thank you. Yeah, don't forget, guys, if you can hit the like button on YouTube, it really helps with the algorithm in terms of picking it up. Indrana's been there twice, 3 times if you count a stopover at the airport. Nice. I've been to LA a few times, but only as a stopover. I've never left the airport, so I don't think I can really claim that one. But I know you've been properly there as well as the stopover, Indrani. So it's all good. What else did I want to tell you about? Oh, there's a cool video I did recently as well on how I come up with these live lessons and how they're all created, and basically compress half of my week into 5 minutes so you can see how I do it. So if you're interested, have a look at that one as well. It's all on the website. I've done a bit of a website redesign, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Just trying to make it work a little bit better for new members and current members. Just a reminder, there's still an issue with the app. So if you've got an iOS device and you're using the app, don't panic, it is being worked on. My minions at my site provider apparently are working hard on it. That's what they tell me anyway. So hopefully in the next few days that'll be resolved. But if you're an iOS user and you want to access all your courses, just visit the mobile site. It works fine, all right? So if you've got the app and you don't think it's working, just literally click in your mobile browser, learnukulele.com, and you can log in and it will remember exactly where you were with your courses and everything. So hopefully that'll be really, really useful. Oh, thanks, Leslie. Leslie's just saying, I love the latest video with colours. I think it's really helping me feel the chord personalities. That's really interesting. I find it really helps me. I don't have synesthesia. Synesthesia is where you can actually see colours when you listen to music. So I mentioned at the start of the video, there's some famous artists. Charlie XCX, if you're into modern artists, has it. Sibelius, classical composer, had it. Who else was it? Can't quite remember now, but of course Korsakov, and there's a few others anyway. But these people can actually see colours, but I can't see colours. But when I do put colours with chords, it makes sense in my brain. So have a look at that video. It's really, really interesting. It's on my Facebook account and YouTube. And let me know if it helps you, how you feel about it. It's kind of interesting. I'd genuinely like to know. One day when I actually have more than 5 minutes free time, I'd love to do some of these things academically and write a paper on it, but that'll be for far future when I'm a bit less busy. Okay, right then. So let's have a look at our third song for tonight. I'm just going to finish my very, very cold tea. I've got back into tea drinking. I'm normally a coffee drinker. But you know, after the retreat, I took Jeff Peterson down to Somerset to do a house concert with Sam's friends, and Sam Muir made me a really nice cup of Earl Grey, so I started drinking that again. Just in case you wonder. It's nice, quaint Earl Grey tea. Okay, so let's have a look. We're going to do something, again, a total gear shift, even though we're still in the 1960s here. We're going to go back to a Motown song. This is a really classic upbeat song. What I love about it is the chords are so simple, yet it sounds so effective. It's driving, it's exciting, it's everything that Tamla Motown should be, and I love it. And of course you've got, what was his name? What was his name from the Four Tops? Had that amazing voice. Oh, it's gone now, it'll come back to me in a minute. Let me know, who am I thinking of? Levi Stubbs, wasn't it? I think that's right. And yeah, just that almost growl in this song is absolutely fantastic. Oh, I love that. That's really nice. I've been listening to a lot of Joni Mitchell recently, Indrani, and I love that her albums, she puts her own artwork on them. And I love it. Kind of makes me think of the albums in different ways. I actually think of the picture when I listen to the albums sometimes, which is interesting. I like that. Okay, so this one we're in the key of. Oh, I did get it, Barbara. I did. I was worried I got it wrong. It's in your fascinating facts anyway in the back. It's probably where it is in my head from. So let's have a look then. We're in the key of C with this. So all of these chords fit in the C major key. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So C is the 1 chord. D minor is the 2 chord. E minor, the 3 chord. F is the 4 chord. G is the 5 chord. A minor is the 6 chord. B diminished 7, you don't have to worry about this one, is the 7th chord. And that takes us back to C. Notice that this song uses the most common chords in the key. That's the 1 chord, which makes you feel at home, feel of resolution. I think in my video I did that as a lovely kind of deep amber, so it made you feel relaxed. The 5 chord is tension. I made that really vibrant orange because it felt like it needed resolution. So that's the 5 chord, that's G. The 2 chord introduces a touch of melancholy, and it does work. There's a slight, I called this the dreamer in my video. There's a slight touch of melancholy at that point in the song, and it makes sense if you read the lyrics. And then we've got the 4 chord, which is a little bit of movement, and 5 chord for the tension. What does the tension do? Makes you want to go back to the start and do the whole thing over again. So that's C for 2 measure, G for 2 measures, D minor for 2 measures, F for 1 and G for 1. Sugar pie, honey bunch, you know that I love you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. Now, this is what I love about this song, right? Sorry, I'm getting really excited tonight. I'm just really loving music at the moment. I know it sounds really weird, but I'm just absolutely loving music. Tim, if you're still there, my first Wire record came today. I ordered Pink Flag and the vinyl arrived today. So yeah, just loving my music at the moment. What I love about Tamla Motown, and I listen to a lot of Motown, is that forward drive. You get it on songs like Heatwave as well. It's kind of got that classic forward drive. And that's because we only have the one chord at the start of the verse, and then after that it's all chords that want to go places. So a 5 chord wants to resolve back to the 1 chord, but they don't let it happen. I say they, it was Holland Dozier Holland, this songwriters from Motown. They make you go to the 2 chord, which wants to resolve to the 5 chord. D minor loves going to G. Have a listen. But they make you wait for the 5 chords by taking you there via the 4 chord, which again is all about movement, which is really interesting. So it feels, as soon as it gets to this G, that the song wants to drive along and go places, which is nice because it does it again and again. I've called certain parts of this song the chorus and certain parts the verse, but it's basically that over and over and over again, basically. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Tim. I couldn't resist it. I loved the Wire pieces you sent in that email. And you're so right about their influence on REM. Me and Tim, because we did Kanikapila on REM last week, we got talking about REM. And if anyone's interested, there's a band called Wire. They're really big. I don't know why I hadn't heard of them, or I think I'd heard of them, but didn't really know their music. But yeah, you can really hear the influence. Absolutely. Now, back to this one. When we go to the bridge in this, we've got the exact opposite. So instead of driving, it stays on the 1 chord. I'm going to show you how to chuck in a minute on this one. Now, Holland Dozier Holland are really clever songwriters. This is, again, what is so amazing about Motown, right? Because it's really hard to write simple but forceful, exciting melodies that haven't been done before. Excuse me. So much so that was it the Four Tops or the Temptations had a song called The Same Old Song, which is basically the chords again, isn't it? I think it was the Four Tops, wasn't it? It's the same chords as this again. But what I love is when they go to the bridge, it's the simplest thing staying on a C chord, but it's the exact opposite of what's been going on the whole song. So it feels like it's waiting. When I call your name, oh girl, it starts to flame, burning in my heart, tearing it apart. No matter how I try, my love I cannot hide. And then when you go to the next chorus, sugar pie, honey bunch, you know that I'm waiting for you. It's back to that excitement again. And on the original record with the drums and everything, it really builds up there. So genius pop songwriting, I think. It's just amazing. Now, what you can do on the bridge, if you want to, is a little bit of a chuck. Now, in terms of the general strum on this one, let me check my notes just to make sure I'm telling you this right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm actually going to bring my iPad on screen because I think you'll find this entertaining. This is what my crazy mind comes up with and my awful songwriting. Look at awful handwriting, look at that. That's my notes on this song. So I always have my notes so that I can tell you all about the song and what's happening in it and stuff. And I've lost my stylus, so I had to use my finger to write notes on my iPad. So it's barely legible, is it? Anyway, the strum that we're going to do on this is just a simple, it's almost like the island strum, just walk, running, 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 walk, running, running, running. Or you could do the calypso strum, but with a decent bit of energy. Walk, running, and running, walk, running, and running, walk, running, and running. Okay, so either of those will work absolutely fine on this one. Thanks, Anthony. Well, it's good because I soak it up from you guys as well, and that's what I love. It's like a genuine enthusiasm because you guys turn me on to stuff like that as well, and you know this feel good, right, Anthony? Because I was thinking about you the other day when I was listening to Virginia playing, and I was thinking that's got that sense of forward movement, hasn't it? It's just classic Roxy music, just brilliant. So what we're gonna do on that bridge is we're gonna keep either of those strum patterns going. We're gonna strum down on the first beat. Then what we're going to do is we're going to introduce any fingers on the fretboard here. The reason we're doing it up here rather than a chuck here is that we want to keep that chuck sustaining. So we're going to have an open first chord, and then these fingers are going to touch down, but they're not going to press. You'll get a jazz chord if you press. We want a nice chuck. You've also got to keep this finger on where you would play a C chord, but just let the pressure go. So when you strum down, you get a chuck. And basically what we're doing is we're going to strum on one and we're going to chuck on the rest of the beats. It sounds, it's easier than it seems, actually. Down, chuck, down, chuck, down, chuck. And believe it or not, all I'm doing is keeping that strum pattern going. And I'm just allowing the chord to ring out on one of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. It's that simple. And we do that over the chorus part, which looks and sounds like this. The bridge part, sorry, which looks and sounds like this. 2 more. Oh, yeah, there we go. So that's all the C's here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. When I call your name, our girl, it starts to flame, burning in my heart, or tearing it apart. No matter how I try, my love I cannot hide. And then you're just back to your normal sugar pie, honey bunch. Do anything you ask me to. Okay, so really, really nice. I can't sing like Levi Stubbs, so I'm going to do this in a lower range, and mine will be a bit more mellow, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. Now, because we got the same chords over and over again, I'll keep the words up for anyone that wants to sing along. But if you're a regular Kanikapila, or even if you're new to this, see if you can learn this off by heart. Think 1, G, tension of 5, 2, 4 and 5. G. Sorry, I meant to say C and I said G, didn't I? G. D minor, F and G. Like that, okay? And just keep that going round and round, apart from bridge, which is just the C chord. So this is a great one to practice doing by memory for sure. And Barbara was just saying, in the second verse, should the G chord come in on go? Let me just check that. Let's have a look. Do you know what, Barbara? I'm not sure. It works both ways. I think you could be right. In and out of my love, you come and you go. In and out of my love, come and you go. But I'm going to sing it the way I've got it in my head and just do it as it is on the sheet, Barbara. I think you're right. So I know this is sacrilegious, but I'll sing it how it is on here. All right, but I think you're right. I think it is on G. But I've got it in my head the other way now, so hopefully it'll be all right. Do the strand. I know, I was listening to that the other day. So I didn't realise as well, they had a Top of the Pop special, Anthony, on Roxy Music. And I didn't realise that so many of their songs were named after brands of cigarettes. I didn't even know that's what Virginia Plain was, but I know now. Don't smoke, kids, it's bad for you. So let's have a go. But yeah, what a great song. I totally agree, Anthony, totally agree. Okay, let's do this. Thread song, just keep it the same thing over and over. If you want a solo at any point, we haven't got any instrumentals, but just noodle in the key of C pentatonic or A minor pentatonic. And we'll do another solo in the next song. Here we go. Let's do an instrumental chorus to get us going. 1, 2, 3, 4. See if you can remember these off by heart. D minor, and F and G. Sugar pie, honey bunch, you know that I love you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. In and out of my love, you come and you go, leaving just your picture behind. And I've kissed it 1,000 times. When you snap your finger or wink your eye, I come running to you. I'm tied to your apron strings, and there's nothing I can do. Sing. G. I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. 'Cause sugar pie, honey bunch, I'm weaker than a man should be. I can't help myself. I'm a fool in love, you see. I'll tell you I don't love you, tell you that we're through, and I try. But every time I see your face, I get all choked up inside. Is that rich? Sing. When I call your name, oh girl, it starts to flame, burning in my heart, tearing me apart. No matter how I try, my love I cannot hide. Sugar pie, honey bunch, you know that I'm waiting for you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. Sugar pie, honey bunch, do everything you ask me to. I can't help myself. I want you and nobody else. Sugar pie, honey bunch, you know that I love you. I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. Such a cool song. Such a cool song. I absolutely love that. I just sometimes, we've been talking about the power of music, and I've been talking to some of you guys on email and other forms about how powerful music can be. And Motown for me, if you're ever feeling a little bit glum, it happens to all of us, right? Especially this time of year. I used to find the autumn really difficult because I suffer from seasonal affective disorder, SAD. So in the winter, if I don't get enough sunlight, it really brings me down. So this time of year, sometimes I can be quite anxious about the changing of the seasons. But I've kind of learned to kind of, I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. I've kind of learned to enjoy the autumn, you know, that kind of, the Swedish, I think they call it hugga, don't they? That kind of appreciating the coziness of it all. So I've started to like really enjoy kind of Halloween. We've already carved a pumpkin in my house, and, you know, that cinnamon spice and all that stuff, and enjoying it. But anyway, what I meant to say was if you're ever going through a glum period, just stick some Motown records on. It is amazing the effect it can have. For my SAD, I have like a special light that replicates daylight, and it really helps to kind of boost my spirits. But Motown music is the oral equivalent of that. It's amazing. So honestly, take my word for it. I've got a best of, but I've also got the collective Motown records, and they just make me so happy. What is it they say? Music, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy records, and that's the next best thing, right? So there we go. Vitamin D in high dosage, or vitamin C. I like that. Yeah, makes sense. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Lisa. Yellow Submarine helps, Anthony. There you go. There's your Yellow Submarine for this week. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, Anthony. Definitely. Okay. Talking about Halloween, next week is our Halloween special. Unfortunately, I threw out all my Halloween outfits, so I'm going to have to think of something to wear next week. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll think of something. So we're going to have our Halloween special next week. I know it's early, and Halloween isn't for another 11 days after that. But those of you that have been doing my Kanikapila for years and years, you'll know that I always go away the last week of October. It's half term, and it's basically a cheap way of taking the kids on a holiday, and we all love it. So I'm always away for Halloween in the last week of October. So if you're into it, and I know a lot of you really love the Halloween special, we're going to get all spooky and we're going to do a Halloween special next week. So 20th of October, next Monday, Halloween special. If you're dressing up, send me your pictures in advance. Send them to matt@theukeroom.com or members@mattsteadukulele.com. And I'll bring some on with me as well, so we can have a bit of a montage. So if you want to do that, you can also share them on Facebook if you're not too shy. Yeah, we'll get all Halloweeny next week, which should be great. Yeah, the lights are amazing, aren't they, Lisa? I find it really, really helps me. I'm so lucky now that I work from home. A couple of winters ago, I had this unit with no windows whatsoever, and it was so hard. So now I work from home. I make sure I go out in the daytime and just sit in the garden, even if it's pouring with rain. I'll just sit under our little ledge and just enjoy it. So yeah, I don't think we've got Monster Mash this time, Anthony, but we've got some brilliant songs. Don't worry about that. And we've got another REM coming, so Tim will like that one. So yeah, that'll be good. So that's going to be next week. So send us your photos. Okay, one last song for tonight then, folks. Let's bring it on. And yeah, I enjoy a bit of spooky. Sandy never gets to do Halloween, but because it's half term is slightly earlier this time, we're gonna just be back for Halloween night. I won't be back in time to do it for Kanikapila on the Monday, but we're gonna have a Halloween. I think at that week we're gonna do a Halloween night, and Sandy wants to go and do all the dressing up and going around the villages and collecting sweets and all that, so that should be fun. Here it is. Okay, so what we're going to do next is an absolute classic. This one was written thank you for helping out with the facts this week, Barbara, as well, or Bazza as we know her now. This one was written, I'm just checking, I did make a note of it as well. This one's written in 1913 by Rich Burnett. It's thought of as a traditional American tune, so it's possible that it goes back even further than that, but that was the first time it was published. And it became a real old-time classic. A lot of you guys will probably know it as well as from the old time stuff. You know, you guys are really well educated and all that. But you may also know it from the film Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which is a great film, Coen Brothers film, well worth checking out if you've never watched it. Brilliant film, George Clooney. This is kind of like the key song in the film. I won't ruin the film for you and tell you why, but it serves the key part of the film. And it's really interesting. I remember watching it for the first time and thinking, man, I didn't realise George Clooney could sing, because he's got a really good voice. But all he's doing is he's lip syncing really well with Dan Tminsky from Alison Krauss's band, which make Union Chapel, which makes complete sense, right? So, nice. It wasn't George Clooney singing, it was Dan Tyminski, who's a brilliant singer you should also check out. He's also a brilliant ukulele player. There's a lovely version of Whiskey for Breakfast, which he does on ukulele, which you should definitely check out if you haven't already. It's really brilliant. Thanks, guys. It's nice. I love how we all share. It's brilliant. So yeah, check that out if you haven't already. So this is the version that I've based this on is Dan Tyminski singing their kind of version of this. It's in the key of G. I haven't done this on purpose, but almost everything apart from the last song was in the key of G today, right? So that's quite nice. So we already know the chords that are likely to come up. And this one uses the most powerful chords. A lot of bluegrass and old time is based on the same 3 chords. The 1 chord, resolution, 4 chord movement, 5 chord tension. And this one you can really play this off by heart. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Got the 1 chord for 4 measures, 4 chord G, A, B, C, C in this case, and then the 5 chord D. And often that 5 chord's turned into a dominant 7th chord. That just means a D7 rather than D. And dominant 7th chords, basically, they just kind of take the 5 chord and they up the tension. It makes them sound even more tense. So when we do a D7, this F sharp note in the D7 really likes to resolve itself here to this G note. And the 7th note, the flatted 7th note in the D7, which is this C, really likes to resolve to the D here in the key of D. Now, don't in the chord of D, don't worry about the theory. That really doesn't matter. But the theory of the chords is what I want you to take away from tonight, and that is important. So we've got that home, movement, tension, and resolution. And that's why you get the resolution, basically. Okay. And what we do is we're going to play this in a very fast walk, running. I don't do this for every song, but it seems to have worked tonight. So that's just your down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Walk, running, walk, running, walk, running. Okay. Now, a few things to note. When this song was written in 1913, swing music, as we know it today, wasn't really invented. That came along in the 1920s with Louis Armstrong and others. So we quite often play swing time on our uke without thinking about it. That sounds like this. Sorry. But this is very straight. You've got to be almost mechanical about it. I'll play them both together and you'll see the difference. Straight, swing, straight, swing. Okay. So try and keep it really straight and mechanical. Just think of that as 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and really mechanical, okay? The other thing is this one's in cut time, so it kind of, you can think of it as like half a measure of normal common time, 2 beats per measure. It just means we count 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2. So we count those 2 beats on every time. The reason it's important is that you get a full kind of powerful beat on every second, every third beat, 1 and 3, 1 and 3, and that's important to the feel of the music. It's kind of pedantic to really go, you know, it'd be fine. You can think of it as 4/4 played quickly, but that's the feel of it, of cut time, basically. And you can always spot cut time because it will have a C and then a line going through it. A lot of people think it's common time, but that line down the middle tells you to count in cut time. Okay. There's also, if you want to, a chance to do a picking pattern on this one. I'll come in really close. What it is you're going to hit the C string with your thumb. you're going to pinch the bottom 2 strings. It doesn't really matter which fingers you use, but I like to use my first and second finger. So thumb, pinch, thumb, pinch. And that's the first part. And then you're going to do what we often call a banjo roll or a roll, where we're going to hit G string, E string, C string, and A string. Notice I'm holding down a G chord for this. Get that thumb on the back like I'm always nagging you guys. Okay, so G string, E string, C string, A string. And if you put that together, it'll sound like this. Thumb, pinch, roll. Thumb, pinch, roll. And it has to go quite quick, so this might be one to learn and come back to. Really quick, so release. But if you want to, you can have a go at that. It's kind of a form of Travis picking, but not quite. It's more like a banjo roll, but really, really sweet. But I thought I'd just include that in if you wanted to have a go at it. It can be quite nice. The other thing that you could do with this one, because it's quite interesting, and I do this when I'm playing banjo pieces on uke quite often. You know how this is a G chord? If I took it up all the way, if I just took it to next fret, G sharp, A sharp, B. When we reach the 7th fret, we have a C chord because we've taken it up. And because the C chord has a G note in it, you can even hit this one. So sometimes on this song, I'll play G here. When I go to the C, I'll just take that up. You could come back for D7, or you could even do it here by barring the 5th fret and a finger here on the 6th fret of the C string. And then you can bring it back down again. It looked like this. Let me get some words up so I can hear. I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. That's cool, isn't it? And it's quite a cool chord to know that you can play a C by playing in G shape at the 7th and 8th frets. So just something to experiment with if you want to. You could just do the normal chords as well. Be absolutely fine. That's pretty much it. If you want to solo on this one, you can use the G major pentatonic scale. We're running out of time a bit, so I'll just show you really quickly. That would be 7th fret of the C string to 9, 7 to 10, Sam My Girl 7 to 10. And you can pair that up with the E minor pentatonic, which is 4-7, 5-7, 5-7. Okay, just in case you want to have a little go at a solo, but just strum it and enjoy it. You'll be absolutely fine. Thanks, Joe. It's a cool pattern, isn't it? Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I hope I'm not coming down with a cold. It's not the right time of year for hay fever, so that's not a good sign, is it? Okay, right, let's have a go at this then. So the same few chords over and over. It's our last song. Just go wild and enjoy this one. I'll probably in between the verses do a couple of instrumentals, so you can kind of have a little go at a solo if you want to, or you can just muck about with the chords. That'll be fine. Laura's just saying ukulele Saz calls the C at the 7, the twinkly C. Oh, I like that, Laura. Yeah, I like that. Like a twinkly C. It makes sense. It's got like a brightness about it, which is really nice. Okay, guys, let's have a go. Thank you. I'll stay at the end just in case there's any questions or comments, but thank you once again for joining me. It's been a whole heap of fun. Remember, these Kanikapilas, apart from when I'm away, are every Monday now. So we'll be back next Monday with our Halloween special. And hopefully I'll see a load of you there. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for supporting me. Oh, virtual tip jar is on the link in the description if you want to send anything over over as a thank you, but you don't have to. I know nearly all of you are members of my website, and that's really the most amazing thing in the world to me, so thank you. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's do an instrumental verse, then we'll go through it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And C, D7, back to G. Then we do that again. C, D7, back to G. Then we have a little tag where we repeat that, D7, and you can shout back my lyrics at me if you like. Here we go. I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, to the place I was born and raised. Sing it back. To the place he was born and raised. Yeah. For 6 I've been in trouble. No pleasures here on earth I found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now. Sing it back at me. He has no friends to help him now. Take a solo. Just strum with me. Back to G. Okay. Repeat. Now let's do the verse. It's very well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again, for I'm bound to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon this train. Sing it back. Upon this train, you can bury me in some deep valley for many years where I may lay. Then you may learn to love another D7 while I'm sleeping in my grave. Sing it back. I realise I forgot the D7s there, but just hit them in. Last chord. Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you'll never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you there on God's golden shore. He'll meet you there on God's golden shore. Try G7. C7, D7, and a G7, G to finish. Well done. And everyone, sorry, that was a bit mad. I can't sing that like Dan Tyminski does. That's why he's Dan Tyminski. He's a bit of a hero of mine, as well as being an amazing guitar player. Plays a beautiful Collins acoustic with Alison Krauss and Union Station. I think I said Union Chapel earlier, which is a lovely venue in London. Union Station, I should have said. As well as playing in her band, he's done some solo records recently, and they're really great. In fact, one of them he redid his version of that, which is really, really lovely. You might have also seen him on the Transatlantic Sessions. I think he's on series 4 or 5. That's where they get a load of Celtic musicians in Scotland and musicians mostly from the southern states of America and at the Appalachian region, and they bring them over and they all meet up and play music together. If you've never seen it, it's called the Transatlantic Sessions, and you can find every series on YouTube. They're originally broadcast on the BBC, so he's on one of the series of that, and he's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, go and enjoy that picking pattern. Absolutely. That's good to know, Leslie. That's all right. I do listen. Sometimes it just takes me a while. But I got there eventually. Hey, better late than never. So yeah, hopefully it makes everyone happy. That's the idea. Fantastic. Brilliant. And I said Appalachia right. Yay! I'm friends with Mim, Barbara. If I got it wrong, I think she'd disown me. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks, Anthony. Thank you. That's brilliant. I hope I brightened up. That's it. Brighten up a grey evening. That's the brilliant thing about October. I know we talked about how sometimes, it can sometimes it can bring people down a bit, kind of this bleak weather. But I love that all our celebrations are so bright and colourful. So we've got, got Halloween, which people celebrate and get all a bit silly about, which is great. And then you have bonfire night with all the fireworks and everything, and I love that as well. And of course, if any of you have never done it, come to the UK in October, and I say October, I should say November the 5th, when we have bonfire night. And come down to, there's a village in Devon called Ottery St Mary, and they have something called barrel burning. It's completely mad. You know how in Spain they have the bull runs where they let the bulls go through the street and everyone just has to jump out the way? Being a vegetarian, I'm not going to comment on that, right? But in Britain, we have our own version in Ottery St Mary. I used to live down in Devon, and it's a more humane version. And basically, what they do is these guys, they light big, massive wooden barrels of tar on fire. And then they carry them on the back. They have asbestos gloves, or probably not asbestos anymore, but something fire retardant or something on their back. And they run through the crowd, and no one gets injured. Everyone just gets out of the way, But it's such a spectacle, this little tiny village, and you get this massive crowd, and then these big guys and gals suddenly run through it with these flaming barrels. It's amazing. And then there's a big old bonfire at the end, which is just fantastic, and just such a lovely way of raising spirits at this time of year. I'm sure it's probably attached to, I think that predates Bonfire Night and Guy Fawkes and all that. I think it probably goes back to pagan times, the Devon ritual. But yeah, fantastic. Yay! Well done, Joe. There's loads of us, Joe. When I do, I always get people's dietary requirements in advance for the retreats that we do, and I'm always shocked that it's almost 50-50 veggie and meat now, which is kind of interesting. So kind of changing, isn't it? But yeah, well done, Joe. You're all cool though. I love you all, whatever, you know that. So it's all good. Right, come and join me next week if you can for the magic of the Circle of Fifths, which will be really useful for Kanikapila. And I will, of course, be back next Monday for our Halloween special. So yeah. Oh, and they banned bangers. That's not the sausage, that's the firework, right? I think Anyway, it's all good. Fantastic. We often, Speech House, where we have the ukulele retreat, they do a nice big fireworks display there. So I often go down to that one as well. They put a little fairground together, and the kids go off and do that before we do bonfire and fireworks and all that. I originally came from Tewkesbury when I grew up as a boy, and there they had the Mop Fair, which actually has kind of quite a sad history, because originally it's where they used to sell the slaves, but we still commemorate or celebrate the one same weekend every or same dates every year, and we have a big fairground right in the centre of Tewkesbury, and that's lovely as well. I think that's actually happened this year, but that's always this time of year as well. Brings out the cheeriness and everyone. Okay, I'm rambling about stuff now, so I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll see you next Monday, if not before, peeps. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Happy uking!